guys, it's Reagan and today I'm here to do my June book haul, and this video is being sponsored in part by HMH Teen. So for the month of June, I actually picked up a bunch of books, like a lot. Like I went to Barnes & Noble and I spent all my money a lot. But the thing is, I did a book shopping vlog and did a haul. Most of the books I actually picked up in June, so if you want to see a book shopping vlog where I also pick up and haul 10 books, I'll leave that video down below. I'm not going to show them off again in this video, just in case of redundancy. So I'm just gonna focus on the books that I also picked up this month, just not from that one shopping trip. But anyway, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right in. So the first book I'm gonna show off is a book I'm not sure if I've hauled yet, and that is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. This is a novella that's supposed to bridge the gap between two series. Full transparency, when I bought this, I didn't realize, one, it was a novella, and two, it was like this long. I've also haven't picked it up yet because I've heard like iffy things about it, which has kind of turned me off of it. But I'm sure I'll read it soon, and I still can't believe this book cost $18.99. But anyway, I bought it, so here it is. Next up is My Plain Jane by Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This is a new release this month, and I've already read it and loved it. This is a hilarious, fantastical retelling of Jane Eyre. We follow a myriad of characters, including Charlotte Bronte, as we follow a well-known tale, basically reimagined and told in a quirky and hilarious fashion. But yeah, this is a fun reimagining of a very classic story told with some supernatural twists, aka ghosts. Next up, I actually have an unboxing, and this is for Grim Lovelies by Megan Shepherd. It's coming out this year. I got sent this really cool swag box, which I'm gonna show off everything to you guys today. And just so you guys know, this book is available to pre-order soon, and they're gonna be doing a really cool pre-order package. I'll leave it linked down below if you're interested. All right, so the main piece of swag that comes in this box that I'm actually obsessed with is a bunch of pins. I love pins. They go on all of my jackets. I think they're so fun, and these ones particularly I think are so cute. One says witches, royals, beasties, and goblins. Oh my gosh, I love them. You also get a little lip gloss with a mirror, which is always nifty and handy for any touch-ups throughout the day. And then lastly, and most importantly, we have the ARC itself, and this is for Grim Lovelies by Megan Shepherd, and this comes out in October later this year. This sounds like a dark fantasy story set in Paris, which is always just a very riveting location to read any book. And this follows our main character, Anouk, who has known nothing but the life she has lived within her master's household. She spends her days doing chores and just basically anything to keep her dark mistress happy. Anouk and her fellow servants remember nothing from her life before, and she envies the human world she watches from her window. However, when their master is murdered, Anouk and her fellow beastie changelings only have 3 days until the spell that changed them from animal to human wears off. And in a desperate attempt to save themselves, Anouk and the others venture outside. When they do so, they discover a well-kept secret that beasties can do a lot more than sweep the floor and keep after a household. They possess a lot of magic, dark magic, that magic handlers in the cities will do anything to possess. So this just sounds like the dark Parisian fantasy I always need in my life. We're excited to have this ARC in my possession, and be sure to be on the lookout for some really amazing pre-order perks that will come out as this book comes closer to the release date. Yay. The next book I have is a highly anticipated one, and that is A Reaper at the Gates by Sabatier. I've also already read this book. I have a lot of feelings about this book. I will talk about that more in my wrap-up, but this is the third book to the Ember Quartet, and it is just as incredible as the first two books. So much happens. It's amazing. If you're not familiar, this is an amazing multi-perspective fantasy series that kind of has a Roman-inspired setting. Empires and wars and politics and backstabbing and all of those things exist in this novel. The characters are so complex. There's so much dynamic intrigue that goes on within this series. I don't know character motivations, and I always am just like reading through it to just understand why people are doing the things they're doing. Sabatier has yet to disappoint me, ever. The third book was incredible. The next few books I picked up from Book of the Month this month. The first one I chose was the Book of Essie by Megan McLean Weir. This book really called out to me because it has a reality TV setting. This is basically kind of a take on 19 Kids and Counting. We follow Essie, who is the youngest daughter to a very famous religious reality TV family, and her world gets kind of turned upside down, and so does her family when Essie gets pregnant. And from there, they're basically trying to decide what to do. Should they try to arrange a marriage really quickly? And it basically throws Essie into the spotlight that she wasn't anticipating, and she kind of becomes the center to this PR and media whirlwind. And this book just sounds very, very interesting, and that's why I chose it for this month. And the next book I picked up was The Anomaly by Michael Rutger. This book follows our main character Nolan, who's like an X-Files character meets Indiana Jones. He is an archaeologist who basically spends his time trying to crack secrets, basically dismissed by experts and loved by conspiracy theorists, which just sounds like my favorite kind of book. So when Nolan basically tries to retrace the steps of a 1909 expedition in the Grand Canyon to discover like a secret cavern, he does it, but things begin to unravel quickly and a lot of things begin to go wrong. This sounds like a very suspenseful dark thriller with an archaeological and historical twist, which honestly just sounds like a book made for me. I wanted to be an archaeologist for a time in my life. I realized I didn't like the outside very much, so instead I will leave myself to read about archaeological adventures, so I'm pumped to have this. And the last book I picked up is The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden. I picked this book up in Austin, and it's very excitingly, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, signed! And this is a sequel to The Bear and the Nightingale, which I read last month and really enjoyed. The Bear and the Nightingale is a fantastical historical fantasy set in like the 15th century of Russia and the wilderness. We follow our main character Vasya, who's very in tune with the natural folklore of the land. In fact, this folklore is not just living with the people, but is in fact real. And Vasya is able to basically harness this magic to try to save her family from a dark power. The second book follows Vasya as she continues her adventures and continues to discover more about herself and her magic. The first one I felt like was it was incredible, but it was like just the beginning, and I feel like we're gonna see so much more with Vasya as she basically traverses across the Russian landscape and becomes more powerful, and I'm here for it in every sense of the word. So I saw this one signed to just beautiful new release in hardback. I immediately bought it. I could not say no. Alrighty guys, that is my June book haul. Let me know down below some books you've gotten recently, as I would love to know, and be sure to check out my book shopping vlog to see the 10 other books I picked up this month. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon with another one soon. Goodbye!